Welcome everyone, I am the Depressed Hero, and this is Arkham Horror the card game doing the Scarlet Keys with Ursula Downs and Jacqueline Fine. So we're going to be starting with the prologue, which is Riddles and Rain. The dark stifles, it moves like a living creature, constricts the air as if you were inside a shapeless cocoon, a figment of your anxious and overactive imagination, you hope. But everything about this meeting puts your nerves on edge. You almost didn't accept the mysterious invitation, but recent events have forced your hand. It's been several months since the disappearances began, and all of your leads in Arkham have dried up. It started in the winter of 1924 with several vehicles in Southside, two Studebakers, a Cadillac, and a Rolls Royce, all of them top of the line. One moment they were there, the next, nothing, save for a single deflated wheel. The police believed it would be the work of bootleggers looking for more vehicles to add to their routes, but the cars were too nice, would draw too much attention. Perhaps they were taken down to Boston or New York and flipped for a pretty penny. And that's just what you figured happened until the disappearance continued. Next to go was a street lamp outside the Ward Theater in downtown, then two pets, a dog and a cat, whisk away almost simultaneously right out from under their owners' noses, not 2 doors down from one another. You learned the news when you saw the missing posters plastered all over College Street. On a whim, you interviewed the owners, no sign of foul play. And it was unlikely for them to have run away. Something stank about all of it. Then people started to disappear. A child from Easttown, a student in Miskatonic University, the chief of Arkham's fire department, and as the police closed each case with no clues or suspects, a curious thing began to happen. One by one, as time marched on, the things that went missing vanished not only from Arkham, but from memory. The owners of those vehicles suddenly claimed to have never owned them. The pets, the people, all of them were wiped from the memories of every single person in town. Everyone but you. You and you alone remembered. Perhaps it was simply the way of things. Humans are fickle and forgetful by nature, but it couldn't be so simple. It was just too strange, coincidental. And that's when the letter arrived. Greetings. I hope this letter finds you well. You do not know me, but I know you. I cannot tell you much through paper correspondence, as it may be intercepted. Suffice it to say that I know of the matters you are looking into, and I also know that you believe yourself to be alone in your investigation. The truth is that you are not alone. Such events are not unique to your city of Arkham. What you have observed is happening in major cities all over the world. I am one of those, like you, who seeks the truth, who remembers. There is another related matter which I must bring to your attention. I need your help, and you need mine. Enclosed is a ticket to a show at the Riverview Theater. If you wish to know more, please meet me there, and we can speak further. Come alone. In truth, Lee Flint. Alright, so the ticket in the envelope was indeed for a private showing at Arkham's new movie palace in downtown. With no other leads and no good reason to avoid going, you decided to accept the mysterious invitation. If there's more than one investigator, which there are, I'm playing two-handed. Lead investigator chooses. I will go alone as requested. Intro 3. Just as you are beginning to suspect that you have been played, you see a shadow approaching from the aisle. The figure spots you at once, sliding into the seat in front of you. He wears wide horn-rimmed glasses and a high-collar jacket over a silk vest. His brown hair is cut short and parted to one side, and he sports a handsome, neatly trimmed beard. To your relief, no other figures emerge from the shadows. You came alone. Good. The man in front of you speaks quietly without turning, letting his voice carry softly over the silent images on the screen. Trust isn't such meager measure these days. It is good to know that we can share some. You ask if you are speaking to Lee Flint, earning a slight nod from the man. Indeed, Inspector Lee Flint, with the International Criminal Police Commission. I'm sure you have a great many questions, but we are unfortunately short on time. Flint produces a file, fat with documentation, and slides it between the two seat cushions in front of you. Inside is a wealth of information regarding cases similar to the ones you have been investigating. Photos of vehicles, factory machines, and public figures all missing, all forgotten. And just as Flint's letter promised, the file concludes reports from all over the world: London, Shanghai, Bruges, my apologies if I mispronounce some of these, Rio de Janeiro, Cairo, the list goes on and on. There's more, he says, after giving you time to read. Flip to the end. You do, and what greets you there are two photographs clipped together. The first is of a street in London, distorted by some sort of interference. A light shines above the street corner, and around it, the picture appears to be pinched, like a miniature vortex is pulling reality toward it. The other is a photograph of a man on the other side of the same street corner, ducking into the shadows. He wears a tailored gray suit and a wide-brimmed hat that obscures his face. The only discernible detail you can make out from the photo is the man's distinctive red gloves. Where rare as it is for a photograph to have color, you wonder if the long exposure time is what led to the strange blurring effect. This was taken by my partner several days ago, just before he too vanished. Whatever's going on, you can be sure that man with the red gloves is somehow involved. Getting to the point, you ask Inspector Flint what exactly he wants from you. To work together, share what we know. Sparingly few seem to know the truth. You agree? If what the man says is true, and events like this are happening all over the world, getting to the bottom of it will require more than just you. To that end, I would ask that you come to London with me. That man with the red gloves has been sighted in the area, and he's not alone. I would bet good money that he knows something about where my partner is. Arrangements have already been made. There are steamship tickets in that file. The ship departs from Boston in 2 days. You can either take his offer or you can go on your own terms. We're going to go ahead and take his offer. You accept the file, and tell Inspector Flint that you'll report to him with anything you find. With haste, you get your affairs in order and take the very next train to Boston. Flint has already given you more evidence to advance your case than a month of investigation in Arkham. If working together with the ICPC will help solve this mystery, you have no qualms about putting your trust in him. You make it to London with time to spare and immediately get to work. Trust is born of naivete. Remove an Elder token from the chaos bag and add one tablet token. This token can be later removed through an act of secrecy. However, you may become stronger if you stick to your convictions. Read the rules for tracking time and mark 1 time on the campaign log, then proceed to setup. So first, let's go ahead and remove the Elder thing and the tablet. So we now have 2 tablets and no Elder things. All right, and we need to mark 1 time. So here's our time thing. There's a bunch of little symbols. 1 time. Okay. Tracking time. Throughout this campaign, tracking the passage of time is of crucial importance. As time marches on, these paranormal events will grow more and more dangerous, and machinations beyond your understanding will progress. Additionally, some opportunities may only be open to you during certain windows of time. When you're instructed to mark 1 or more time in the campaign box, fill in that many boxes under the time passed. If you fill in a box that has a symbol in the form of a Greek letter, proceed to the status report section of the campaign guide, page 69. Find the status report matching the letter and read the text that follows. All right, so now we get to set up all of this. We're going to be starting at the rainy London streets. Everything else gets set aside. And yeah, everything just gets set aside. So we'll be starting at the rainy London streets over here. Cold rain pelts the dreary streets in a rhythmic pitter-patter. Despite the hour, the square is bustling with automobiles, carriages, and pedestrians. Somewhere in this crowded city is the man you seek. Are you already too late? All right, I'm going to shuffle the encounter deck. And then over here we have 4 agendas. Agenda 1A, when it rains. Arriving in London, you patiently await your contact, but none arrives. Inspector Flint, or one of his proxies, was supposed to meet you at a quiet tea house tucked away in a narrow storefront just outside Trafalgar Square. Wondering what could have gone wrong and suspecting the worst, you set off to investigate. When this agenda advances, move all doom on it to the next agenda, to doom to advance. Clues and capers. You draw your umbrella closer, using it to obscure your identity. Each person you pass on the street could be your contact or be out to get you. As a group, spend the requisite number of clues to advance before the agenda advances. 4 clues to advance. And there are 4 acts. I have it set to easy difficulty, so -2 is the highest. Tokens. Skull is -1, -3 if you have 2 or more clues. Tablet is -1, but if there's a concealed mini card at your location, you reveal a second token. And then the Elder thing is -3. If you fail, you must either place 1 clue or place 1 doom on an enemy in the shadows. We don't have any Elder things, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, with that, I'm going to put a break here and BRB. Okay, we'll go ahead and shuffle and draw. All right, I already have a Sword Cane. I don't want the Whispers of Doom. Arcane Initiate's good, and the Uncaged Soul is also welcome. Spectral Shield's good, though I don't have any charges to actually play around with it. Yeah, this is going to be a little risky, but I think we'll go with this. Okay, we're starting with a Shriveling at least. but I'm not going to be using Spectral Shield until I get something else besides Shriveling. Ursula, deal to orange. I forgot to turn this on, or turn this off rather. This should be, okay, that should be good. All right, starting with a segment of Onyx right off the bat. I'm okay with having the burning of the Midnight Oils. Let's keep one of them. Okay, that's a better start. Okay, and okay. All right, we'll go ahead and shuffle this one more time. We start in the investigation phase. We'll flip this over. 1 shroud, 4 clues. Rainy London Street gets plus X shroud, where X is the current act number, so it's actually 2 shroud. If there are no clues on Rainy London Streets, add clues to it until it has 2 clues on it. And action resign, we should wait for Inspector Flint. Okay, so this thing has 2 shroud, something we can start with. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to start with Jacqueline. First action, I'm going to go ahead and do a Uncage the Soul, play Shriveling. Then I'm going to go ahead and investigate. I'll go 3 to 2. That is -1 right now, so I get 1 clue. And then I'll investigate again, and I'll use my ability with it. So I'll draw 2 extra tokens. Okay. So either I can draw a card or I can pass the test. I'm going to go ahead and pass the test. I will take the Elder Sign and get that second clue. Okay. And then Ursula, I'm going to go ahead and play a Burning the Midnight Oil to gain 2 resources. And investigate, we'll go 4 to 1. We pass, we get 1 clue. I'll go ahead and spend 3 to get out Grim Memoir. I'll spend 1 to fast out a segment of Onyx. And then I'm going to investigate one more time. We'll go 4 to 2. There are no mini cards right now, so we can grab this clue. And just like that. Okay, so as a group, you can spend the requisite number of clues to advance before the agenda advances. So good news is we're going to be advancing before this gets ready to do anything to us, whatever that may be. So, movement in the dark. You spot the figure on the other side of the street just as a bright red bus approaches. You are certain whoever was there was staring directly at you. The bus cuts a swath through the foggy streets, and when it has passed, the figure is gone. Perhaps it is just your paranoia at work, but it cannot be a coincidence. It must have either been your contact or one of their foes. Perhaps even the reason that they are missing. Steeling yourself for any possibility, you set off in chase. Put the set-aside Kensington Gardens, Westminster Abbey, and Big Ben locations into play. Yep, that works. And then it's just those locations, right? Kensington Gardens, Westminster Abbey, and Big Ben. Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, and Kensington Gardens. Cool. The lead investigator draws the set-aside Red Glove Man, who has concealed. So he's going to be up here. And resolve his concealed keyword, spawn the Red Glove Man in the shadows, take as many card and, in this case, 2 decoys, and shuffle them face down, put them into play, divided as evenly as possible among the locations nearest to the lead investigator. And then advance the agenda directly to A, do not resolve agenda 1B. So because we rushed through this, we don't need to worry about that. So we don't look at the back of it. All right, but first, let's go through here. We're going to grab this Red Glove Man. and 2 decoys. We're going to shuffle them. We're going to put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 down here. Something to note, Rainy London Street is now 3 Shroud because we're now on Act 2. Red Glove Man, by the way, Humanoid Coterie Elite, Shrouded in Mystery, has 4 health, 5 combat, 5 evade, has Retaliate. The only detail I could remember was his gloves, red as blood. Victory 1 hits for 1 and 1. So yeah, like I said, already 5/5 monster. Pretty rough. Okay, let's go ahead and read about the agenda real quick. Figures in the fog. Your mind must be playing tricks on you. Misshapen figures dance through the dense London fog whenever the lane lets up. Are these distortions like the one the photographer Inspector Flint showed you, or is it your quarry hiding in the mist and gloom? When this agenda advances, move all doom on it to the next agenda. So again, it's just a ever-increasing ticking clock here. All right, and then over here we have the game is afoot. You chase a shadow shrouded by night. It might as well be a needle in a haystack, but still you search, hoping for any clue that may lead you to the truth. Chase down the mysterious figure before the agenda advances. If an investigator engages the Red Glove Man, advance. All right. Also, this location here should have 2 clues on it because of the effect it has, and that'll be it. Okay. So that is it for the investigation phase. I will go ahead and read these locations, though. Big Ben, a fixture of the London skyline. The clock tower at the north end of the Palace of Westminster looms over the city, its face like the eye of a watchful guardian. Westminster Abbey. The Gothic Abbey near the palace is both a place of religious significance and a traditional burial site for English royals. Lights flicker in the windows as the gentle rain turns to ominous downpour. You would not be the first to seek guidance on such hallowed ground, but you wonder what else may be at work within its aged walls. You know what? I'm going to place this concealed card here. Yeah, as long as it's one space, as long as it's the closest location, which is fine. All right. Speaking of Kensington Gardens, the night's unusually somber mood is enough to drown out even the beauty of the Royal Park. The round pond threatens to flood as the downpour continues. This place has been a popular meeting ground for many years. Perhaps the man with the red gloves and his cohorts are here. All right, that is it for the round. So we'll go ahead and go to enemy phase. Enemy doesn't do anything while in shadows. We got upkeep. Okay, got prescient. That's good. Got a Eureka. That's great. First Mythos, shuffle the deck one more time, and we draw. Knives in the Dark. Put it into your threat area if there are no copies. Otherwise it gets search. After you expose a decoy, you will take 2 damage, limit once per round. At the end of your turn, do a test agility 3. If you succeed, you discard it. Yeah, so this thing can hurt pretty bad. And over here we have Hunting Shadows, which is just going to do 2 damage to me because I have no clues. All right, that hurt quite a bit. So, yeah, revealing things is going to be a little dangerous now. All right. Let's go ahead and move with Ursula. We'll move down to Kensington Gardens. Has 2 Shroud, 2 clues. After you expose a decoy at Kensington Garden, you can heal a horror. After you expose an enemy at Kensington Garden, you take 1 horror. Victory 1. Okay. I'll go ahead and activate Ursula's ability since I moved. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location. I'm currently 4-2. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to do a practice makes perfect and search top 9. I will pick this deduction. Oh my god, my next 2 cards would have been Segment of Onyx. That would have been awesome. All right, this will put us at 5-2. Oh, good, I didn't auto-fail. So I pass. Deduction will go into my hand. I get both clues here. I could choose to reveal this, but I wasn't going to yet. So that's been done. All right, Next, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to investigate again. And this time I'll be trying to deal with the concealed card, so it is X Shroud. So again, I'll be 4-2 here. And I'm going to go ahead and let's shuffle this one more time just in case. Let's do Grim Memoir. We'll go 6-2. All right, that's -2, so I pass by 2. I get to draw a card. Okay, shortcut. Reveal this is a decoy. Since I revealed a decoy here, I heal 1 horror. And then this gets set aside. All right. So I made that progress. I'm going to go ahead and pop a shortcut to get back up to here. And then I'm going to investigate this location with Grim Memoir. This will put us at 6-3. I'm going to go ahead and try to get rid of that concealed card. All right, we pass. We do draw another card. All right, Wit and Green. Perfect. All right, reveal this. Okay, another decoy. So that's good. That means the remaining card is what we're looking for, which means I can safely reveal it and not worry about Knives in the Dark. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go with Jacqueline. So Jacqueline, she's going to move over to here. Big Ben. Lightning Bolt. Choose a concealed mini card at Big Ben or a connecting location. Test Agility 2. If you succeed, you can look at the revealed side of that concealed mini card without exposing it. If you fail, you take a horror. Limit once per turn. Victory 1 has Shroud 4. Shroud 4 is a problem. All right. So technically it's possible for me to pass the test, but it's not easy. We essentially only have 3 tokens that can get us to pass. So I think let's draw a card. All right. I will go ahead and investigate. I will use my ability. I'm going to commit a Spectral Shield because I had a spare. So this puts it at 4-4 on the investigate. That is perfect. Okay, so we have to pick the auto fail. I have to take both other tokens. That puts us at 5-4. I do pass. Go ahead and reveal it. Hey, it's what we thought it was. So he gets engaged with us. And since we got engaged by the red, we engaged the red glove man, we can now advance. The chase is on. After much toil and pursuit, you finally catch up to the figure you've been chasing. A feeling of vindication washes over you as you spot the red gloves the man wears. It was no phantom you chased. This is the one you have sought all along. You approach him in a narrow alleyway, sheets of rain and fog masking your approach. Several more figures flank the man, a meeting perhaps. To your surprise, he casts an expressionless glance in your direction, then fast as a flash of lightning, gone just as swiftly. A formless shape ducks out at view. A chunk of a nearby building goes along with it. When you turn to question your quarry about what happened, they have all fled east. You inch forward and examine the partially excised wall, covered in an ectoplasmic substance, like the negative of an undeveloped photo. Set the red glove man aside, out of play. And then put the set aside Tower Bridge and Tower of London locations into play. Okay. Alright. Shuffle the set aside Crimson, Conspiracy, and Outsiders encounter sets into the encounter deck along with the encounter disc pile, and then advance the agenda directly to Agenda 3A. Do not resolve Agenda 2B. Alright, so first we grab all this. We want Crimson, Conspiracy, and Outsiders. and we advance this. The connection. It is clear now that Inspector Flint's hunches were correct. The man in the red gloves is not operating alone, and whatever he is up to, it has something to do with the recent vanishings. You could wait to report what you have seen, but by then the man and his cohorts may have already put into motion whatever scheme they are planning. No, you have only one choice. You must find the man with the red gloves at all cost. Now I am doomed to advance. And then over here we have eyes in the tower. Your gaze turns eastward in the direction you last saw the man heading. Over the tower bridge lies the famed Tower of London, where even more eyes watch your approach. These belonging to a conspiracy of dark and brooding ravens. For what reason could he be heading there? Only investigators at the Tower of London may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. 6 clues to advance. So Tower of London's up here. So, Tower Bridge. Spanning the River Thames, the newly built Tower Bridge has quickly become a cultural icon, connecting central London with the East End, which has seen much growth in the recent years. To the north, just over the bridge, a dark cloud encircles the Tower of London. Tower of London. The main gate into the Tower of London is locked and securely guarded. As an additional cost to enter the Tower of London, investigators at the top of Tower Bridge must spend 4 clues as a group. A conspiracy of ravens circle ominously over the castle walls, far too many to be a coincidence. So, right now, it would take 10 clues to advance, both to get there and spend them. Alright, so that is everything. Let's go ahead and... enemy phase, there are no enemies. Upkeep. Another shriveling. Artistic inspiration. Alright, Mythos. We're at 2nd Doom out of 9. Paracausal in its entity. 3 combat, 2 health, 3 evade. Monster, Outsider, Hunter. When it engages you, look at the top card of your deck. If it is not a weakness, set it aside out of play as a hollow. File number AT-151. Subject appears as hyperphysical distortion devoid of mass, capable of hollowing contacted matter. See file AV-245. Containment impossible. Hits for 1 and 1. Okay, this is going to get put over here as a hollow. So yeah, my one time playing this before, I didn't draw any of the outsider enemies, so it was a pretty non-combative session, to say the least. False lead, surges. Oh, actually, no, I do have clues. So I'll go 4 to 4 here, and each point I fail by, I suffer. Let's commit a perception to this. We'll go 6 to 4. We pass, we draw 1 card. Okay. Good to go. Alright, investigation phase. Let's start with Jacqueline. So we can go 5 to 3 against these guys. I think I'm good. I was good on the go on the other thing. Yeah, I was good to go on the other thing. Okay. Actually, give me 1 moment. Yep, good to go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start with Ursula. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3. Or should I spend 4 to get Outwit and Green? I have both tomes and relics, so I'll get a book for that. Then I'm going to go ahead and move to the Tower Bridge. 2 Shroud, 2 Clues. Action, maybe there is another way in. Test Willpower or Book 5. If you succeed, put the set-aside Trader's Gate location into play. Story has been told of the prisoners who were brought to the Tower of London by barge along the River Thames. Perhaps you could follow their morbid example. Since I revealed the location, I'll go ahead and exhaust wood and green and look at the top 6 for a tome or relic. I will take this relic and then shuffle. Alright, I will activate my ability to investigate. I will do a Grim Memoir with a deduction. So this will put us at 8-2. We pass by a lot, so I draw a card, and I'll get both clues here. Alright, so I have 4 clues if I want to go in the normal way, or I can try to go by the way of Tower Bridge. I'm going to go ahead and try to go in by way of Tower Bridge. I'm going to commit a Eureka and a Jake Williams. This will put us at 8-5. There are no hitting cards here, so we pass. I'll take a look at the top 3. I will take the medical student just in case. As much as I would love to have that practice make perfect. Alright, we get to put the set-aside Trader's Gate location into play. Trader's Gate. Although the original entrance to the water gate has long since been bricked up, you commandeer a small vessel and make your way along the river anyway. Perhaps there is still a secret route one might take from here to infiltrate the Tower of London. Alright, that is all of our actions. Let's go to Jacqueline. Okay, so we need to deal with you now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do a Shriveling. And I will use my ability. So this will be 5-3. I have to cancel the autofail. Everything else makes it a pass. So I'll do 2 damage and kill it. Alright, that was slightly annoying. Let's go ahead and spend 1. I am going to go ahead and get out the Arcane Initiate at this point. Search top 3. I will take the Eyes of the Dreamer, thank you. And I'll happily take that shuffle. And then I'll go ahead and spend 3 to get out Eyes of the Dreamer. And then I will spend 1 to get out Spectral Shield as a fast. Okay, that's good. I actually really needed something to clue the clue with, so I can get the victory from this location. I do know that the Abbey does not have victory. I know that much. Because I believe it's the last location. I believe it's this location, Red Glove Man, and then the prison, I think, has victory. Alright. Oh, also, I didn't actually resolve Knives in the Dark earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I failed, and then for this round, I also failed. Okay. Enemy phase, no enemies, upkeep. Another Eyes of the Dreamer. And glad I got the medical student. Alright. I mean, to be honest, we don't really need it that badly. But it is still something. We're at 4 of 9. I have to take 2 damage. One of it's going to get soaked by Spectral Shield. And I'll take the other damage. Crypt Chill. I'm 3-4. And unfortunately, I don't have much else I can do about it. So 3-4. Good luck. Alright, we fail. I'm going to get rid of a Grim Memoir. Alright, investigation phase. I'm going to go ahead and do Arcane Initiate first. Search top 3. Take, it's just spell cards, right? Yep. I'll take a Rite of Seeking. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and investigate using Eyes of the Dreamer. I'm going to spend 3 charges and use my ability. So I'm going to get, it's 1 token plus 3, so 4, and then 5, 6. So 6 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so with my ability, I'll get rid of the Skull and Elder Sign, which is going to give me a card draw. And then I have 0, 1, 0, -1, 0, -1. So I will pick one of the zeros, and cancel the remaining. And since I canceled something that I'm resolving as well, I get an additional clue. So, also, I'm going 5 to 4 on this. So I do pass. I get both clues. And that did more than I could ever ask. All right, next I will go ahead and spin 2 to go ahead and get out Holy Rosary, get that +1 willpower going, and then we're getting out of here. We're going to go ahead and start moving. So at this point we have 6 clues, but they're a little spread out. Also, something to note, this London Street is 4 shroud now. All right, also to note, skulls are right now -3 because both of us have 2 or more clues. Okay, with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and move with Ursula. I will reveal this location. 4 shroud, 2 clues, action, test combat or agility 5. If you succeed, reveal the Tower of London. If you fail, take 1 damage. Finding a way in through here will be tricky, but if your hunch is right, you might be able to slip in without anyone suspecting your approach. You prepare yourself for an underwater excursion, hoping the gate wasn't fully blocked off. Since I revealed a location, I will go ahead and use Wooden Green, search top 6. I'll grab this segment of onyx. I will then use my ability to investigate this location. It will be just 5 to 4. I'll use a Burning the Midnight Oil to gain 2 resources. Just -1, so I do pass and I get 1 clue here. I have investigated, so I'm going to tap this to represent that I've investigated this round. Then I'm going to go ahead and spend an action to get out a artistic inspiration. I'll spend an action to gain a resource, and then I'll use those resources to get out all 3 segment of onyxes to get Pen to the Queen out. Alright. So unfortunately, we might have to just take the other route. Yeah, we might end up having to just go through the normal way, because combat and agility is, as you can see, 5 difficulty is ridiculous. But we can easily get the clues that we need. I'm pretty sure there's clues at Tower of London, so there's that option as well. Alright, well, enemy phase, no enemies, upkeep. Deny existence, upkeep, magnifying glass. 5 of 9. Coterie agent. Okay, human coterie has 1s for all stats. Concealed 2. After it enters the shadow, place 1 doom on it. When coterie agent is exposed, discard it. So we take, this is B, so it's going to be this one. And 2 decoys. And unfortunately our options are limited. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Oh, I did forget to do, actually I think I did do the Knives of the Dark this round. Did I? Let me check. Alright, I did not do the Knives of the Dark last round, so I'll just do it now. I did not pass. Okay. Okie dokie. So, good news is if you expose this guy, you can immediately discard him. Fortunately, our options for getting rid of him is kind of limited. Oh, also, I need to draw a counter card for you. Okay, put you right there. All right. I'm going to start with Ursula. I'll go ahead and spend 1 to fast out a magnifying glass. I'm then going to go ahead and move back to here. I will go ahead and do a investigate with my ability. This will put us at 6 to 2. We pass. I will use that to reveal this card. Okay, it's a decoy. All right. Was it 4 clues? Yeah, I'll go ahead and spin the 4 clues to open Sesame here. Conspiracy of ravens circle ominously over the castle walls, far too many to be a coincidence. Okay. After you end your turn at Tower London, you must either lose 2 resources or an enemy in the shadows attacks you. Okay. I'll go ahead and use my ability on wet and green to search top 6. Nothing. All right. I'll go ahead and move back for my final action. And that'll be it. All right. Meanwhile, over here with Jacqueline, I'll go ahead and search top 3. I'll take the Whispers of Doom. Okay. All right. I do need to get rid of this agent, so I'll go ahead and move down to here. I'm going to go ahead and investigate this location using Eyes of the Dreamer. We'll go 6 to 2. We pass. It's a decoy. I will get hit with Knives of the Dark. I'll use Deny Existence to negate the damage. And then I'm going to move back up to here. And then I'm going to use my ability to see if I can get rid of the Knives of the Dark. 1, 2, 3. Nope. All right. That is everybody. Upkeep. We're 7 of 9. Figures in the dark. If there are no enemies in the shadows, figures in the dark gain surge. Otherwise, you must decide. Each enemy in the shadows attacks you, or each investigator loses an action. I'll have it attack me, and I'll soak it with the Spectral Shield. Alright, Seeing Shadows. After you fail a skill test while at a location with a concealed mini card, take 1 horror. Double action to get rid of. Okay. Alright. Investigation phase. We'll do Arcane Initiate, search top 3. That Voice of Ra would be nice. I mean, we don't really need it, but we can take it for now. All right, so Voice of Ra, let's go ahead and investigate this location. We'll use Eyes of the Dreamer. So currently we are 6 to 4. I'm just seeing what my options are. Funny enough, it's pretty much all good all around. All right. I'm going to go ahead and investigate using Eyes of the Dreamer. I'm going to commit a Prescient. Actually, no, I'm not going to bother with the Prescient. We're just going to investigate. We'll use Jacqueline Fine's ability. So this will be 6 to 4. I have to cancel the autofail, so it leaves me with a +1 and a -3. So that's -2. That's exactly 4, so I do pass. Just barely. Alright, so passing that exposes him. Since I expose him, I'm going to go ahead and discard him. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and move. And Not much else I can do, unfortunately. For my last action, I'm just going to play Voice of Ra now. I won't be able to use my ability with it, but that's fine. Alright, I revealed one symbol, so I do get 3 resources in total. More than I can really ask for. Then Knights of the Dark, I'm 2 to 3. Yeah, we'll just do that. And we fail. Okay. Meanwhile here with Ursula, I am going to go ahead and pop a Pen of the Queen to grab a clue from here. I'm then going to go ahead and move up and use my ability to investigate. Which is going to put us at 6 to 3. We pass, we get 1 clue. I'll move back. And I'll draw a card. There's a Call of the Unknown. Alright. Don't need to worry about it this round. Alright, upkeep. 1 second. I did not shuffle. There we go. Alright, and then for your upkeep, plan of action. Mythos. 7 of 9 again. Go to Reagent. This is A version. So we need some decoys for this. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Okay. Okay, that was your card. This one, false lead. Okay, we're 5 to 4. Let's go 7 to 4. Good thing I did. Passed just barely. Alright. Investigation phase. So I have to get rid of, if I don't get rid of the agent this round, we advance. So let's start with Jacqueline. First things first, I'm going to search top 3. I'll take the board. All right. And then I'm going to investigate using Eyes of the Dreamer. This puts us at 6 to 2. I do have a hidden card. All right, we pass. Okay, decoy. That's going to trigger Eyes of the Dark. I'm going to go ahead and have one of it get soaked by the Spectral Shield, and I'll kill off the Arcane Initiate. That'll buy us some more time. Next, we'll go ahead and move up to here. And then I'm going to investigate again. This time around, we will go... Yeah, we'll just do Eyes of the Dreamer. Yeah, we'll do Eyes of the Dreamer. Okay. We'll do Prescient. So it will be 7 to 3. I'll spend 1 charge. Okay. Pass. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to pick a... I need to actually pick a thing here. I was going to pick symbol, so try again. Okay, that works. And I can choose to ignore the elder sign. Would I pass? Yes, I would actually pass this test. Okay, so I draw a card from that, and I get to grab a spell card from this. This gets sealed. I'm going to go ahead and grab this Deny Existence and put it in my hand. And then we get to reveal whatever this is. It's a decoy. I take 2 damage, which I'm going to use this Deny Existence to negate. Okay. So, and then at the end of her turn, I have to either spend 2 resources or get attacked. I will let myself get attacked, and I'll soak it with with Spectral Shield. Okay. Oh, and then at the end of her turn, I'll do Knights of the Dark. I'm going to use my ability with this, and I'm going to do a Promise of Power. Okay, I pass. This goes away finally. And then that'll be it. Okay, Call of the Unknown. At the start of my turn, I have to choose a location and then investigate with it. We'll go ahead and pick this location and go from there. I'm going to go ahead and move and use my ability. Also put us at 6 to 4. We'll just go 6 to 4. We pass. Reveal this guy. He's now dead. This has been resolved. Then I'm going to move over to here. I'm going to use Pin of the Queen to grab this clue. And then we'll spend the 6 clues. He's here. Quietly and cautiously, you follow the figure from a distance. With measured haste, he darts to and fro inside the ominous tower, searching for something. Finally, while you watch from the shadows, the man with the red gloves finds what he's looking for. A loose brick along one of the candlelit hall's many columns. He casually rotates the stone back into place with the kind of nonchalance as if he were dealing with a piece of misplaced laundry. To your surprise, a section of the nearby wall rotates in turn, revealing a secret passageway. He ascends into darkness, and you follow in secret. Put the set-aside Tower Prison location into play. Attach the set-aside Eye of Raven's key to the Tower Prison, not controlled by anyone. So here's one of those keys. The Eye of Ravens. Shift. During a skill test at your location, the performing investigator sets their base skill value to 6, and then you flip it to Unstable. Macabre Ruby Marble. File. Is that an S? Can't even tell. One way to find out. Search. Yeah, it's usually a letter. So I will say S. SA-19, subject class, yellow. Key appears as small red marble found lodged in the eye socket of a deceased coterie operative. Paradimensional capabilities, unknown. And if you flip it, the unstable side, you shift it, you draw the top card of the encounter deck, and then if it's an investigator that did it, you flip it to its stable side. Completely impenetrable despite all piercing and crushing attempts. What could possibly be inside? A device or another world entirely? Yep. So half of a quote's on one side, the other half of the quote's on the other side. Anyway. Move all concealed mini cards in play to the Tower Prison, which is part of the reason why I was so adamant about getting rid of them. Draw the set-aside Red Glove Man enemy and resolve its concealed keyword, putting all of those concealed mini-cards into play at the Tower Prison. So, put you in the shadows, grab you, grab 2 of these again, shuffle, and then they all go here. Okay. Caught red-handed. Somewhere in these forgotten crypts, the man with the red gloves is searching for something. But for what purpose? The red glove man gains action, parlay, test willpower or intelligence 5 to interrogate the Red Glove Man. If you succeed, place 1 resource on him. Stop the Red Glove Man from stealing the Eye of Ravens. If he is defeated, or if there are 2 resources on him, you advance. All right. I still have 1 action remaining, which I'm going to use to... draw a card. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm going to lose 2 resources. Actually, if I do that, I'll get attacked for 1 and 1. Yeah, actually, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'll draw a card. I don't want to move into the Tower Prison yet. Oh yeah, when a concealed mini card would Tower Prison, by the way. When a concealed mini card would enter play anywhere other than the Tower Prison, put it into play at the Tower Prison instead. What could the man with the red gloves possibly want in this place? So at the end of my turn, I will take the 1 and 1, which I'll put on foot and green, and then enemy phase. He's not going to do anything. Upkeep. Upkeep. Mythos. 7 of 9 again. Pinch in reality. You must choose. Spend 1 clue, or choose and discard half your non-weakness cards in your hand. Round it up. So I would need to discard 4 cards if I wanted to do that. The other option is I ward it. Let's ward it. Conspiracy in red. Place 1 doom on an enemy in the shadows. If there are no enemies in the shadows, search the encounter deck and discard pile for an enemy with the concealed keyword and draw it. Shuffle the encounter deck. The moment she described his outfit, the line went dead. So we're going to be advancing next round, because I'm not going to be able to get this guy in time. But that's okay. Alright, investigation phase. I'll start with Ursula. Call the Unknown will be resolved over here. I'm then going to go ahead and shortcut. Actually, I guess either way it didn't really matter for the white and green thing. That's okay. We'll shortcut move over to here. Reveal this location. 4 shroud, 4 clues. Lightning bolts. When an investigator at the tower is performing a skill test, spend a clue that investigator's +2 the skill value for this skill test. When a concealed mini card would enter play, as always, place it down. Has victory 1. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use my ability to investigate this location. Yes, I know about the seeing shadows. So currently we are 6 to 4, and that's good enough for me. Actually, before I do that, I'll do Whit and Green's ability. Search top 6. I'll take the Tooth of Etsley. All right, 6 to 4. We pass. I'm going to go ahead and grab a clue. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and do Pin to the Queen to grab another clue. Also, since I investigated this location, this is resolved. These are going to get shuffled back into the deck. I can't draw a card. Oh, I made a mistake last round, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I think I drew a card as my last action with her. I think it was a plan of action, so I'm just going to shuffle it back in. Give me a moment. Okay, thank God for rewinding. I was able to rewind, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I rewound to just, I have the action I still remaining. I'm going to go ahead and just gain a resource, because I believe I can still do that. Yeah, so I can't parlay or draw after I do an investigate. Okay, then we do upkeep again, upkeep. This will go to 7 again. We'll do this again. And then this will put a Was it a doom on him? Yep, 1 doom on him. Okay, so for Ursula's turn, I'm going to go ahead and move this time because I don't have shortcut now. Do this again. Search top 6. Grab Tooth of Etsley, so I don't get the shortcut this time. All right. I've already done the checks for this, so I'm not going to worry about those parts. We'll get these clues. And then these get shuffled back in. Like so. All right. And that leaves me with 2 actions remaining, which I will go ahead and use to get rid of the Seeing Shadows. And then that will be it. So I think that fixes it. I apologize. Luckily, I didn't stall. I didn't faff about too much, so I was able to rewind all the way back to just before I drew that card. Anyway, meanwhile with Jacqueline. Oh, I did forget the damage and horror from the taking the attack earlier. Okay. So Jacqueline. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 to replace Eyes of the Dreamer. And then I'm going to move. And then I'm going to investigate. And, can I kill him in 1 round? Not really. Yeah, I think I'll just do Eyes of the Dreamer. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 and use my ability. And 6. Okay, so we'll cancel the auto-fail. I have to take 2 tokens, essentially, so I'll take a 0 and +1. And that'll get me a clue. I can either get a clue or I can reveal one of the cards. At this point, I'll grab a clue. There's not much else I'm going to be able to do about it. Okay. Resolves all of that. Enemy phase, enemy's not going to do anything. Upkeep. Mythos. Alright, so we do advance. Mysterious shapes. As the night grows deeper and rain becomes a torrent, you flinch at every moving shadow, every sound, every shape. You wonder if perhaps this investigation is getting the best of you. Or maybe there are more of them than you thought watching you, lying in wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. The lead investigator must decide. Either search the encounter deck and discard pile for a coterie agent enemy and draw it, or shuffle the encounter deck, or everyone takes 1 damage, 1 horror. I'll take the damage and horror. So we'll soak the damage, take the horror, and you can take the 1 and 1. Since this was the end of that agenda, I can get rid of this finally. Alright, plots and panic. Deep fog blots out the moonlight, bathing the city in utter darkness. From the rooftops, ravens watch your progress with unhuman intelligence. Every moving shadow sets your mind racing. If you don't find the man with the red gloves and stop his plans, who knows what he will do next. 7 doomed to advance. This is the last agenda. Alright. Obscuring fog. That's slightly annoying, because that does increase the shroud value. And seeing shadows. Okay. Good times had by all. Okie dokie. So I do have a clue. So this location is 6 Shroud now, because of course it is. I'm going to start with Ursula. I'll spend 1 to fast out the segment of Onyx. This is going to go over here, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and investigate. Actually, no, sorry, I'm going to evade first. So currently I'm going to try to evade the Red Glove Man here. I'm going to commit 2 plan of actions. Since this is my first action, it's going to be a wild and a agility. So this is going to be 8 to 6. And we'll see what happens. We pass. These go away. Any, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, decoy. 1 down. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and try to investigate this location. I'm 6 to 6. Unfortunately, I have too many clues, and I should have used one of them. And I've already investigated, so that's going to be useless. Great. Alright, last action. Yeah, I should have used one of my clues. Well, I got nothing better to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and evade. We'll go 4 to 6. Oh, I did fail the test, so I do take 1 horror. Ow. In fact, with that in mind, I'm just going to spin 3 and get out Tooth of Etzli. That'll be my last action. Okay, meanwhile with Jacqueline. We'll go ahead and investigate. We're 6 to 6 right now. I'm going to use 3 charges of Eyes of the Dreamer. And I'm going to commit an Arbiter of Fates. Actually, I'll just spend a clue. That'll give me +2. So 8 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. I'll cancel everything but the 0, which will pass. I get the last clue here. Get rid of the obscuring fog. This goes away. Alright. Next, I'm going to go ahead and investigate again with Eyes of the Dreamer. I'll spend 1 charge. We pass. I'll reveal this one. It's a decoy. And 1 more. I'll use my ability with this. Eyes of the Dreamer. Okay, cancel the skull and the -1. And reveal this. Get engaged by him. And then that will be it for this round, unfortunately. Enemy phase, I'm going to get hit for 1 and 1. I'll soak it. I'll soak the damage with the shield and then take the other. And then over here, this is going to get shuffled back into my deck. So I'm going to take 2 horror. Okay. Mythos, First Doom. For each set-aside hollow you own, if there's one of those copies in your play area or hand, discard those copies and take 1 damage and 1 horror. If none are discarded, then bad things happen. So I discard the Sword Cane and I'll take 1 and 1. Which is going to soak that charge, and I'll take the horror. If no cards were discarded, you would end up taking your top card and making it a hollow. File AV245, supplemental, no energy conversion observed. What happens to hollowed matter? Okay. And then over here, Obscuring Fog again. Well, we don't need to worry about that too much. Okay, investigation phase. Let's get to work. So, if I can just beat this guy up, we'll be good to go. It's either that or I do the 5 book check. I've never done the 5 book check. Well, I'll start with Ursula, because she's got nothing better to do. So we can go 5 to 5. Let's see what happens. Oh, wait, I can only do one parlay around. That sucks. All right. Yeah, I'll just let Jacqueline do her thing. Okay. So I can either go against his 5 combats, or I can just do a willpower 4 check. Let's do a willpower 4 check. I will spend 3 resources to play Whispers of Doom. Non-weakness enemy at your location. This test gets plus X difficulty, where X is the horror value. If you succeed, defeat that enemy. If it's elite, it takes 3 damage instead. If you fail, put 1 doom. Alright, I'll go ahead and use my ability with it. I'm right now 6 to 4. We'll go 7 to 4 with Voice of Ra. Cool. I'll cancel the symbols and just take the -1. This will do 3 damage. Okay. Next, I will go ahead and try to punch with a Shriveling, I guess. And I'll commit a Arbiter of Fates. So this will put us at 8 to 5. We succeed, does 2 damage. He is dealt with. There we go. That was messy. I mean, to be fair, we did have the clues to add +2s to that. So honestly, it was just my mistake on some of those parts. In any case, he's been defeated. So we do advance. The plot is foiled. If you defeated the Red Glove Man, the figure reels backward, grasping at his wounds. Something small clatters to the ground. The man says nothing, only glares at you from the darkness. His gloves seem to ripple around his hands, like the disturbed surface of a deep crimson pool, and after a moment he straightens himself. Then, blending into the shadows, he tips his hat and is gone. Add the Red Glove Man to the victor display, and then Resolution 1. Resolution 1. You search for the man with the red gloves through every possible hiding place and down every shadow corridor. But he is well and truly gone. It is as if he vanished into thin air. You wonder for a moment if he was somehow erased from existence like the other disappearances, but you won't believe so. Or you don't believe so. There is no mark, no ectoplasmic remains. He simply was there, and then he was not. You give up searching for him and instead examine the object that clattered to the ground during your scuffle. It is a small ruby marble, no larger than an eye. Indeed, you investigate the crypts that the man was rummaging through, and find that the marble's size matches the eye sockets of the long-deceased corpse inside. They must have been buried with it, meaning perhaps this marble is what the man with the red gloves sought all along, but why? Investigating further, you find neither name nor epitaph identifying the corpse buried here, only the following lines of what appears to be poetry chiseled into the lid of the body's coffin. With red we are bound, through red we are one. Thus in red do we bury our kin in our ken. May you rest until you are needed once more. Before you have time to even consider what this might mean, you hear the telltale rumbling of the secret passageway, shifting upstairs once more, and the pounding of heavy footsteps down the stairwell. You arm yourself and prepare for a fight. To your surprise, it is Inspector Flint who greets you, held at gunpoint by a woman dressed in a black suit, wide-brimmed hat, and matching black trousers. She has ebony dark skin, cold eyes underscored by heavy bags, and short, curly hair. 2 other suits flank her, both of whom say nothing and stand like statues as she enters the crypt. She flashes an unidentifiable silver badge and motions for you to stay put. Where did the man with the red gloves go? She asks. And who are you? Can I put my hands down now? Inspector Flint says. Each investigator gets victory X, and then each of the investigators will choose who's the bearer of the Eye of Ravens, and from now on, that person will have it. So Eye of Ravens is down here. We're going to give it to Jacqueline Fine. Since Jacqueline Fine has wards, she can actually kind of make do with the effects from this. So now she's going to permanently have it. Permanently in big quotes. As for the victory X, we have 4 experience. Yep, 4 experience. I don't think there's actually any victor you can get in this. Actually, there's 1. Good luck getting him, though. Alright, so 4 experience. Jacqueline Fine has Great Work, so +1, and Ursula Down has +2 because of Karen's Obol, putting her at 6. Let's see, record that you haven't seen the last of the Red Glove Man. I'm going to put this over in this section, just to save some room. Haven't seen the last of Gloved Man. All right, mark 1 time in the campaign log. All right, let's go ahead and do the interlude, and then I'll do experience. Talk, the woman commands. I'm a detective from the ICPC. Flint barks back. Flint, live Flint. And you're going to be in a lot of trouble when they hear about this. I assure you, I will not. And you? She asks, glaring in your direction. You explain that you are an independent investigator working with Flint. She takes a moment to read your gaze, presumably to tell if you are lying. She, like Flint, seems low on trust. Finally, after a long, baited moment, she holsters her firearm. Flint's hand drops to his side. You let out a breath you didn't know you were holding. We have been after that red-gloved man for quite some time. This is the first time we have gotten this close. He seems to have a knack for slipping away. She nods to the 2 suits flanking her, a tall, athletic, pale-skinned woman and a sharp, clean-shaven man, and motions toward the walls. They keep a hand on their holsters as they scour the perimeter of the room. And who is we exactly? Inspector Flint asks. You've been wondering the very same thing. Your interrogator has a British accent, but she doesn't seem to be part of any local outfit you've ever heard of. She waits for a confirmation from her 2 subordinates before continuing. All clear, ma'am, the man states. She sighs and crosses her arm. All right. What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room under any circumstances. Am I clear? Flint shrugs. Under penalty of what exactly? Summary execution, she states without hesitation. Your throat closes tight. Even your partner flinches at it for a moment. Well then, I suppose we don't have much of a choice, do we? He glances at you. You nod. You might as well hear what she has to say. I am Commissioner Taylor, and these are Agents Hudson and Antonova. We are with the Foundation, an international agency devoted to the discovery, research, and containment of objects with a paradimensional capability. What kind of baloney? Flint practically laughs, but the woman who calls herself Taylor shows no sign of humor. After the Great War, many treaties and accords were signed. Paris Versailles, but keeping the peace wasn't the only goal. There were oddities, you see. During the war, things that did not add up. The Foundation's purpose is to find these things that do not add up and ensure that they cannot be used for such purposes ever again. Well, this is a hell of a con you buttons have cooked up, Flint says, but the darker tone in his voice indicates he doesn't even believe himself. And you're inclined to agree. The fact that Commissioner Taylor even knows of the Red Glove Man at all is proof that she has inside knowledge. You decided that it's more likely she is telling the truth than lying, and ask what she intends to do with you. She paces in uncomfortable silence before finally letting out a sigh. Well, I certainly can't have your investigation running parallel to my own, and you might have information that could be pertinent to our work. So I say we work together. Work together, or work for you? Flint asked pointedly, his eyes narrowing. She allows herself a smile. You are a clever man, I'll give you that. She nods to Agent Hudson, who produces several badges and hands them to you. You'll be at your own cell of the Foundation, operating under our authority, but with independence. All you need to do is agree to report your findings to us. She locks eyes with Flint appraisingly, and you'll be our point of contact. You ask Taylor what you get out of the arrangement, besides the lifted threat on your lives. We'll hand over the intel we have on the organization the Red Glove Man works for, and provide travel papers that can get you anywhere in the world, no questions asked, at no expense. Flint eyes the badge like one might an explosive, turning it over and over in his hands. 2 minutes ago you were pointing a gun at me. Now you're offering me a job? Yes. Well, are you in? You pull Flint aside to speak with him in private. The discussion is short and hushed, full of conjecture and paranoid theories about this Foundation and their true motives. But in the end, you decide to accept her offer. If it will help you get to the bottom of whatever's going on, it is the only real choice. Very well, then, Taylor explains. The Red Glove Man is just one operative of his organization, or perhaps its leader, that we are unable to determine. They call themselves the Red Coterie, so named due to the red garments they wear. They are after artifacts scattered across the world, which possess paradimensional capabilities, the very same kinds of objects we seek to find and contain. We call them keys. You ask Commissioner Taylor what she means by the term paradimensional. Imagine a cake with many layers, she explains. Everything we see and feel exists on one layer, but there are many more layers above and below ours. Something that is paradimensional exists on one layer, but draws energy from other parallel layers. As a result, these keys operate outside the laws of our dimension, cause and effect. If left unchecked, they can be used to inflict terrible harm on the world. Your new job, is to get them out of the hands of the coterie and keep them secure in the Foundation custody. If these keys are as powerful as the Foundation believes, you agree that they should be kept in safe hands, but you cannot help but wonder what this has to do with the disappearances you've been investigating. If anything, Flint locks eyes with you and gives you the slightest shake of his head. He has no intention of telling them. We'll tell them. Tell Taylor about the disappearances, Foundation 2. You decided it's best to tell Commissioner Taylor why you were looking for the Red Glove Man to begin with. Flint lets out an audible sigh. She mulls it over for a few moments, then shakes her head. That is something to look into, but your primary objective is to acquire the keys of the coterie is searching for at all costs. Am I understood? Taylor further explains that she will forward any relevant information to Flint's office, with some sensitive details omitted, of course. She'll also provide the ICPC with the requisite papers regarding Flint's new position. Oh, and Agent Flint, she says on her way out, addressing him by his new title. Your cell may have independence to act on their own, but do not forget that you report directly to me. I expect you to do so without reservation should you discover anything in port. He nods, only the slightest hint of resistance giving him away. Again, we remove a elder thing, which we don't have any, and then you add a tablet token. If there are already 4, you will earn 1 experience instead. So if you stick to your guns, whether you're honest or deceptive, you'll eventually reach 4 in a certain type, a certain symbol, and then start getting additional experience. We're up to 3 now. In the campaign log, record the cell told the truth to Taylor. Okay, skip to Foundation 4. The next morning, your cell meets at the tea room near Trafalgar Square, where you had originally intended to meet the previous night. Together, you go over the documentation provided to Flint by this Foundation. It's all a bit difficult to believe, if I'm being honest, Flint says, but everything checks out. The travel papers, the job transfer, all of it. Not even my boss questioned it for a moment. I guess we're secret agents now, eh? You agree. Unbelievable as it might seem, it's no less strange than the matters you had already been looking into. Right. Well, I think the best thing to do is to split up. Shanghai is where I grew up. I have connections there I can leverage, so I'll head there first. Where you want to investigate next is up to you. Meet up with me later, and we can figure out where to go from there. The Foundation has several leads concerning the whereabouts of the Red Coterie. One is likely to in Inspector Flint's home city of Shanghai, where there may have been many rumors about the existence of a secret cabal led by a mysterious woman with a red parasol. In Alexandria, there have been a rash of beastly killings throughout the city. The Foundation has reason to believe a member of the coterie is involved. A string of high-profile burglaries in Buenos Aires has led the Foundation to believe that one of the coterie members is responsible and is likely a key is the primary target. A member of the coterie has a sanctum in Nairobi. Perhaps there you might learn what they have planned. The Foundation have procured the journal of a prospector recently working in Anchorage, perhaps the site of a key. A coterie agent operating out of Istanbul has already reached out to Foundation operatives, a defector perhaps, or it could be a trap. Locals in Kathmandu have reported seeing a spirit matching the description of another coterie agent. A deadly coterie agent has been sighted in Marrakesh. Reports of tomb robberies and strange overgrowth have the local Foundation operatives on edge. And a coterie agent has made him a name for himself in Havana, where rum and other illicit goods are being smuggled into the United States. And then there's rules for embark and travel. So essentially the way it works is every connection you're going through counts as one time. So for example, if we're going to London, Stockholm, we would check a box from this and then trigger whatever's happening. The green spots are spots where if you do stop at them, you can actually do like a side standalone scenario, but I don't think anyone does that. Otherwise, it's essentially not there. You can actually pass through a green spot without actually eating up time. So going from London to Rome, for example, either through Monte Carlo or Venice, costs only 1 time, not 2 time. The red locations, you can go through them, but you cannot stop there. So this place, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, it'll take a time to get there and then a time to move to somewhere else, but you won't be able to stop there. Also, any locations that you could stop at, such as all the blue locations, you can choose. It's your decision if you want to actually stop there. So if you don't want to stop at Bermuda for whatever reason, you can just keep on going. That being said, time is usually based off of locations you're moving to. So stopping is usually a better idea in most cases, unless you're certain that that location will eat up time. Besides all of that, we got foundation dossiers. These will essentially kind of give you a little bit of base information about something, so you can kind of get a little bit of information before you go into it. I went ahead and made a bunch of copies so I can see all of them at once. I'll probably do a separate video where I kind of go through all of these. We kind of already went through some of this. 10A2 is just the stuff we already talked about, all the initial information. And then all these, you can see some of it's redacted and all that good stuff. One thing to note is it mentions Istanbul. The year that this game takes place in, Constantinople has actually been renamed to Istanbul, which really threw me off for quite some time. But yeah, let's see, where is it? Yeah, which will be 21F there. So something to be aware of. All right, I think that's everything. Yeah, I think I'll do the map navigation next time. Right now we're starting in London. Technically, this location has just been completed, so it's visited. And yeah, I'll talk a little bit about how we'll deal with this next time, which will probably be the same video that will read all this info. So let me take a moment to do some XP spending. Okay, Jacqueline has 5 XP. I'm going to go ahead and use the down of rabbit holes to upgrade Arcane Initiates to level 3, which will cost 2 each instead of 3. So that's 4 experience. And then with my Arcane Researches, I'm going to upgrade one of my Shrivelings to level 3 for 1 experience. So that is 5 experience in total. I know some people are not big fans of Arcane Initiate level 3, but it is. I really like it. It allows me to play it for free. I can play it immediately and just take the horror on it, and then just get plenty of card draw for pretty much the rest of the campaign, or rest of the session. And then for Ursula, I have a 6 XP thanks to Karen's Obel. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade both Wit and Greens to level 2, because that is huge. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace both shortcuts with Pathfinder. I usually don't do both Pathfinders. I usually only do one, but in this case, I think having 2 is super important. So we'll go ahead and go with this. My biggest concern at this point is the fact that depending on when I draw the stupor, things might be a lot uglier. Obviously, we can still investigate at least once per round with it, but it also prevents us from doing card draw as well, which is also annoying. But we can also use that as an opportunity to take advantage of things like Pin to the Queen and working a hunch, so that's another route we can take. And just try to go that route, maybe. Or at the very least, if I investigate, I make sure I do things like deductions to maximize my potential there. Unfortunately, there's not very many upgrade options that heal horror, I don't think. At least not none that are cheap, I don't think. So we're going to have to kind of deal with that as well. Ursula is a Wayfarer. She does get access to the other Pathfinder specialist card, the one where you discard cards and you can use it while being engaged. But it's more expensive XP wise, so I chose not to go ahead and I chose not to bother with it. Anyway, that is everything. So I spent all my XP. Jacqueline has the Eye of Ravens, and yeah, I think we're good to go. Apologies if I made mistakes. Feel free to always post about them. By the time you guys see this video, I'll be long gone. But yeah, so next time we'll go over the map stuff, the dossiers, and then after that we'll go into whatever scenario that I choose to run into. Alright, I am the Depressed Viewer. This was Arkham Horror the card game. We're doing the Scarlet Keys. We just finished Riddles in Rain with Jacqueline Fine and Ursula Downs. I'll see you guys next time.